now let's talk about getting hired. If you think you still want to be a flight attendant, then there's 3 very important processes during this process. Things during this process. I can't talk right now. Okay, so you have to do the application. There's a whole bunch of stuff that goes along with that. You'll have the interview process and then the actual training process, because you're not actually hired until you complete training. So first, with the application, there's a few tips on my website that give you good tips on how to get in there, how to do your application, that kind of stuff. So you need to check it out. But with the application, I think it's best if you go ahead and research the company that you think you want to be with. Make sure you think it's a good fit. If only for the reason that during your interview they're going to ask you, well, why did you choose us? So definitely research that. Once you decide that, and you can apply to a few of them if you think that you're a good fit, but once you do that, go ahead and see if you can set up a job profile. Flight attendant positions aren't always open. It's not like a McDonald's you can just walk in and fill out an application and see if they call you back. No, you have to know when they're going to open up. You have to be ready. You got to be off that day so you can be ready to put it in, because the windows are very, very small. There's a statistic out there that says, it's easier sometimes to get into Harvard than to actually become a flight attendant, depending on who you are applying for. So make sure you go in and get that job profile kind of set up, because now you're one step ahead of the game before anyone else who hasn't gone in and done that, because when it opens, everyone's gonna have to do that. So another thing is to try to get in, or try to get a job alert or something, so that you can know when that flight attendant portal is going to open. If you know somebody, I knew my mom, she was it's gonna open up on this day. She didn't know what time, but she had her eyes on it just like I did. And it just helps to have that okay, I know on December 2nd, this airline is going to be opening up their portal, so I'm going to plan, and I'm going to be one of the first to get in. I say that because your application will be looked at and reviewed in the order that it is received. So if you've got 10,000 flight attendants applying and you're number 900, you're going to be the 900th resume that they look at. And that is why some people put in their application and then they kind of forget about the job, because here it is a year later and now they're getting a call from the company that they applied for. That truly does happen, and it's because they do it in the order it is received. So my suggestion is to get in as close to as you can to that first hour of that first day that it opens, so that you can get your process going, because who knows where you'll be in a year. Let's see, I'm trying to think of anything else. Well, there's some more stuff online that will help you with the application process and what you want to put on there. So that's the application. That's good. Next, we're moving on to the interview part. So if your application gets pulled, normally you get some kind of phone call. You can set it up, or maybe even a video call depending on the airline. And this is your first time to really shine. You need to show up. I mean, this is a real interview, even if it's a video interview. If it's a video interview and you're not really face-to-face, it's like a recorded thing, you need to still dress nice. I would recommend dressing up. They want to see how nice you can look and put together. Ladies, wear makeup and do your hair, and fellas, make sure you're clean shaved and looking nice for that video interview. You just want to be straightforward. You want to show your personality and be truthful, all that good stuff. Be yourself. You guys know this stuff. Another thing that they could do, like I said, is the phone call. If you're not face-to-face, okay, they can't see you, but still you can put on heels or dress nice for your phone call interview so that you feel nice. Don't just be in your pajamas and your teeth aren't brushed. You're not going to feel the same, and you're not going to be the upbeat person that I know you can be if you're even considering this job. You also want to smile a lot, because we're going to be in front of passengers, and that's what we have to do even when things are going awry. So make sure you smile on the phone. It will carry over through your interview, and I guarantee you it will help you. One tip amongst others, again on my website, that I have for your interview is that when you're answering questions, answer with a story. Stories kind of go over well or better with people because everyone likes listening to a good story. So for example, why do you want to choose this airline? Okay, so T, why do you choose this airline? Well, why would I not choose this airline? I grew up in a broken family. My family lived in, here, Texas and in Indiana, and I had to fly back and forth to go visit them. And the airline that they chose was blank airline. I feel like I grew up on this airline. Some of my greatest memories were with these flight attendants, and I just want to make other people feel the way that those flight attendants made me feel, and that's why I feel like I could be a good fit here. I love this airline. Never, ever say, because I like to travel and this is a good airline. Like, really research your company. Why? Find your why. Why do you want to be with that specific airline? Like I said, and that comes from you doing your research. So you might get that question earlier on or later on in the interview process, but usually you'll do like a phone call or a video call. Then you might get another call or a face-to-face, in which the airline will fly you out and you will have a face-to-face interview. This could be a one-on-one or a one on like a panel, or it could be the interviewers interviewing you as a panel and you're interviewing with other potential flight attendants. If that's the case, you're in a group, you got to stand out. They want to see that you can be cohesive with strangers, so make sure you show up and you're smiling and you're nice and all that good stuff. Get in there and you're not copying other people's answers per se. Be yourself completely. Don't be who you think they want you to be. With my face-to-face, it was a me on 3. And I just tried to make sure that I made eye contact with each individual person, so that they could feel my realness and my authenticity. And that's one thing I think definitely helped me. And I tried to see what kind of appealed to each one. And so if I was telling a story or answering a question regarding whatever that was, I would kind of look at that person. And I think that helped us connect as well, because I actually got hired in the room. After your face-to-face, if you get hired, at some point you're going to have to do like a drug test and an alcohol test, and you're going to have to provide your 10-year work and living history. For me, because I had done so many different jobs before while I was a dancer, that was the craziest thing. Like, it was so hard pulling it up. So if you're like me and you have a lot of stuff going on, I suggest printing out your taxes and getting all that, because anything that shows up will, for you, will show up for them. And so you can work off of that. But that is pretty much the interview process. And I say once you get hired, but really what I mean is once you get a conditional job offer or invited to training, because you're not technically hired until you complete training. So once you get hired or the conditional job offer, you will be flown out by the company. They'll give you a start date. You might have to wait a few months before you know when that is. But in that meantime, you can be learning like your city codes and everything you can about the airline business in general. You can reach out to a friend if you know someone, or find someone, online and ask them questions. Hey, how can I best prepare for training? That kind of thing. I suggest being proactive, because it's an intense 3 to 6 weeks, sometimes 2, but it's an intense amount of time that you will be in training. So I suggest being proactive. And once you do get that training date, like I said, they'll fly you out and you'll learn everything. You'll learn everything that you need to know to be a flight attendant there. Again, it's a lot of information, during a short amount of time. You can expect to do like water ditchings. So if you are afraid of water, that might be something you need to consider. If you are afraid of heights, you will have to practice evacuating a plane. You know, if you're afraid of heights, that might be something you need to consider before you choose this career, all that good stuff. But I hope some of that has helped you. And again, there's a lot more details on my website, lifeofaSassyStew.com. It goes in depth to all of these things. Of course, you can always send me a message or a comment, comment, subscribe here on YouTube as well, or comment on my website, and I will be happy to answer any questions that you guys have. You can also DM me on Instagram, Life of a Sassy Stew. You guessed it. No. But I'd be happy to answer any questions you have or anything like that, or address any concerns you might have. Also, make sure that you go to my website. It's called Becoming a Flight Attendant. I have, you know, some sample interview questions. These were all questions that were asked to me. I also have some frequently asked questions and some tips, and these tips range from everything from the initial application process all the way through to training. For the application process, I do have some direct links to many of the major airlines here in the US, and I have direct links to their application sites where you can set up the job alerts or go in and set up your profile, your job profiles, and that is located on my website. And if you need help finding that, just let me know. Drop a comment here on YouTube or on my Instagram, and I'd be happy to. But you should just be able to go and click and find it. So definitely check those out. And anyway, I hope this helps you. I hope to see you all in the friendly skies. Thank you for spending some tea time with me, and fly safe, everyone.